Welcome back to the Mac Home Development YouTube channel. I'm Madison and this is Cindy, and we are here today to talk to you guys about things to do before you actually start your real estate investment company.
Yes.
What are some of the technical things that you had to do before officially launching Mac Home Development?
I mean, you can officially launch, however, obviously you want your ducks in a row before you start all that, before you start really marketing yourself as a flipper, wholesaler, whatever you're planning to do.
Right.
So I mean, first I went to my attorney and got all my incorporated articles together, my articles of incorporation.
Okay.
Got all that first and foremost because I didn't want, if I did find a property and wanted to close on it, that I didn't have that set up, because then you're like, not a real business. But once you do that, you go to Sunbiz, register your business. Once you get the legal formalities out of the way, which I suggest just do first, pay it and move on, then you get to start working on your logo, which is important because you want to be able to show people who you are, what you do. So I would say a smart logo of maybe your area. I mean, ours has the Main Street Bridge in the background since we're from Jacksonville, and it has houses in it, and it has the colors that we chose. So I mean, it was a very thoughtful logo. So I would say
Right.
get that together. And then once you do that, you need cards. You got to start giving out business cards.
Right.
So you want one with your pretty face on it and your logo, and always have on there what you do. Like the back
Okay.
of ours says, we buy houses for cash. Like we have everything on there. Get a website.
Okay.
You can buy those really cheap. I would suggest Carrot.com. They host ours, and I think it's $50 a month.
Okay.
Just for the basic, but it's very user friendly, SEO friendly, and if you're doing pay-per-click, it's just useful for any of that. I mean, you use it, and how easy is it to put blogs and
Right.
pictures,
Right.
and you can update it easily. Like, you don't have to be like WordPress. I feel like you have to know like code,
Yeah.
and this you're just like, it's
Right.
easy. It's dummy friendly. So get your website, get your business card, get your logo. Formalities are out of the way. And then I would say start social media presence. Get a Facebook page, start telling people what you do, like literally, personally, like just go to a house that you're looking at, take a picture, be like, guys, I buy houses. I'm looking for houses. What do you got?
Right.
Who do you know? Easy.
Right. And for social media, it doesn't have to be anything super like professional
No,
either. Like
never.
people generally like genuine
Genuine
content.
would be it. Yeah, I mean, and it's one of those things that it's free marketing. Facebook does not cost you anything. Instagram does not cost you anything. And just start telling everybody. I mean, everybody you know, like, I buy houses. I'm looking for houses. I'm doing this. Start going, like, once you start Googling, like, we buy houses or sell my house fast, whatever, you're going to come up to, like, 1 billion investor pages. Contact them. Ask them, hey, put me on your buyer's list. What do you got? And start going through that. And then if you still have time, go to Craigslist, find those, email them. Hey, like, I'm interested. What do you got? And that's how you start getting a buyer's list together, is those people putting you on theirs, and you start getting properties. And from there you can start slowly, but I mean, that's a lot to do in the beginning to get it going, but it doesn't take very much to get started.
Yeah. So when you're investing, do you have to, if you want to flip a house, do you have to be registered as a business, or can you flip a house as like an individual?
You can, but it's more risk because you're putting you personally.
Okay.
So that means that if something, like if you do it all personally and it's not in a business, if something happens, say a contractor gets hurt, something crazy, they can come after you personally. A business, at least you have that little bit of protection, and especially, I mean, for tax reasons. If you're doing it personally, they're going to come after you. If you do it business, you're going to get the taxes for what businesses get charged. So it's worth it. It's not that much to get started. I mean, it's a couple $1,000s depending on who you use to get your paperwork going. But the rest of it, I mean, you can make a logo. I mean, Fiverr, you can pay somebody $5 to do it. You could make it yourself. It doesn't have to. You can change over time. But just getting it going, kind of sticking with the same thing because you don't have to rebrand later. But just kind of sticking with that, picking a name that means something or that really tells what you do. Those are the things that I would say just get started in the beginning, and then just start telling everybody and joining Facebook groups and like, guys, I'm new. Like, put me on your buyer's list, and just start getting that way.
And asking people for tips. So when you started, you like had someone obviously to kind of talk to you about what they were doing and things. But I know you've mentioned before there's a lot of Facebook groups and like meetups where you can talk to people and kind of get tips and things like that.
Yep, there's a ton of meetups. I mean, especially here in Jacksonville. I mean, there's one every single week. There's, I mean, for everybody. I mean, you're an agent, you're an investor. There's landlord ones. There's wholesaler ones. I mean, there are ones for everybody here, and they hold them. I mean, like I said, I mean, there's a couple times a week, so it's not hard to find one that would fit your schedule to go and start meeting with these people and telling what you do, tell them what you're looking for, and using people to really help you grow.
Right. So then when you're first starting out, how do you go about finding leads? I know if you're an agent, you use the MLS a lot.
Yep.
What about for people who aren't agents?
I mean, if you don't have your license and you're looking for leads, I mean, honestly, like the Facebook groups are a big thing. People post, and the ones that I'm part of, at least 3 times a day about a property they have. Craigslist is always free, so you can start looking there. Zillow, there's a lot of for sale by owners. Driving for dollars is a good one because you're just literally driving in the area that you want to purchase in. You're looking for overgrown yards. You're looking for boarded up windows, bad roofs. Just taking those numbers down to be able to skip trace, find the owners, send them letters, calls, whatever your tactic for that is. But I mean, those are all free things that you can get started right now. I mean, you can walk a neighborhood with flyers and say, I buy houses, call me, whatever, door knockers, hangers, and literally just sweat equity, go and put them on the doors.
Right.
Yeah, they call, great, but at least you're doing something. I don't think that just standing around and hoping that somebody's going to knock on your door and say, hey, I have a house, because that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Okay, so then I want to touch back a little bit on Carrot. So that is, can you purchase the domain and host your website through Carrot?
So you have to get the domain from like GoDaddy, which is what we use, but any of them like that is where you can buy those. And then from there, Carrot hosts the entire website. So you have to get a domain from somewhere else, but you can connect it to that, and then it will host the whole website. So you don't have to use like WordPress, which then you have to get another thing, or Wix. Like, you don't have to do any of that. It's like one stop. It's already built for you. It's one of those, it's fully built up, so all you got to go do is like customize, like put your own pictures and change the wording around. But it's, when you buy it, it's not a blank. It literally pulls
so it has a template,
everything. You literally just need to go in there and change it to fit you, which is what I liked, because it wasn't like for WordPress you are getting a blank and you have to fill it in. So then you're like, oh my gosh, it's overwhelming, especially if you're not computer savvy. So this is a full template. You go in there, fill it out, change your pictures, and then just start adding to it. I mean, I've had it for 3 years now, and I swear every week I'm adding more things, more tabs, more pictures, videos, and just continually updating it as we go along. Like, I would say it's progress, not perfection. Like, don't buy it and like, I'm gonna do it today. Everything's got perfect. Like, no, go and change the pictures, change some wording, pick your keywords that you want, and start building it that way, because it just takes time to fix it the way you want it.
Right. And Carrot does help with SEO too. On every single blog post, it tells you, like, you enter what keywords you want, and then it'll tell you if your post is good for your search engine optimization and stuff like that.
But it has it for every page. I mean, any page that you put on there, there's a little green dot that if it's green, you're good to go. If it's yellow, you're like, and if it's red, then you got to fix it all. But it tells you like what it's looking for. And of course, we have an SEO team that does all that, so they can help. But in the beginning, it's just really make sure every single page is green. And then from there, you can start doing the extra SEO of link building and backlinks and all that.
Okay. So then another thing I wanted to talk about is finding the financing for your first flip. I know you work with hard money lenders. Is that what you did for your first one?
For my first one, I actually had cash. So I used all of my cash, which is why it was so stressful, because it was out of pocket. And so, of course, that's not going to be everybody's first thing. I mean, that was kind of an anomaly that I had cash to do it. But if you are going to find your first one, obviously there are hard money lenders, and they do want you to have a track record. But the ways to get around that is there's lenders out there now that want to check your credit. So if you can have a credit score of more than 620 usually-ish, they'll, they have some background things. You may have to put some more money down. But there's ways around it. I mean, people want to take chances. I mean, especially if you have a good property. I mean, they're looking at the numbers. So it's not per se like they're looking like, wow, you're getting this property for 50. You're saying it needs 40 and it'll sell at 170. Like, yeah, I'm in all day. So they're really going to look at the deal more than anything. And if you have a good deal, you can take it to them, even if you're a newbie, and you have all your ducks in a row and say, look, this is what my contractor bids are. This is what I'm doing. This is how I'm going to do it. I don't think that there would be a problem getting financing.
Okay. And so when people are first starting out, do you have like a recommended price range like for houses that they should look for?
I mean, the normal bread and butter is you want to buy, I would say under 100,000.
Okay.
Because then you're probably reselling for in the mid hundreds. But I mean, it's preference for everybody. Some people like higher end homes and can do those, and that's completely fine. I know for my first one, we bought it for 45. We put, I think, 40 into it and ended up reselling for 140.
Okay.
So there was, it was lower priced, but and I've always stuck to that. I mean, we'll do some higher end, but I really like I would say first time home buyer mid-level is what I really like.
Okay. And then, so do you have any tips for people who, when they're just starting out, like how to compete with some of the kind of bigger investors in their area, or is it just kind of getting lucky?
Yeah, you're not, don't compete with them. I had to think these people we have big marketing budgets.
Right.
I mean, we can pay that money. We can do that. So when you're starting out, you're not competing with them in the sense of marketing dollars.
Right.
I mean, what I could put in when I first started was like $100 a month. What we can put in now is totally different.
Right.
What our bigger competitors are doing, we're not even close to that. And that's just honest. Like, we're not spending $30,000 a month on marketing.
Right.
And we're still getting deals, so they're there. And we were still getting deals before we even had a marketing budget. Right. So you can get the deals, but I would say you're going to have to put sweat equity. You're going to have to do bandit signs, which nobody loves to do. You're going to have to do door knocking. You're going to have to do cold calling. You're going to have to search Craigslist and network and talk to people.
Right.
But that is what people don't want to do because it involves you doing it instead of it just coming to you.
Yeah.
But that's how we started.
Right.
And now, yes, we don't have to door knock, and we could still do it and kill it, but we don't have to do that. But in the beginning, you have to, if that's what you want to do. Like, if you want to live this and do this and not work for somebody else, you're going to have to do it. Like, it sucks, but...
Right. So is that what you did? How did you find your first flip?
So our first flip was networking.
Okay.
We actually had a guy who knew that I was looking to buy. And I just told everybody, like, hey, I'm starting my investment company. I'm looking to flip a property. And I told everybody, and it took a little bit, but we ended up getting one. And that's how we started. And it was just word of mouth of like, hey, you said that you wanted to flip. I have a good one.
Right.
And I was like, yes. And so that was just literally word of mouth. But after that, the next ones, they all came from the MLS in the beginning because, so this would have been 2013. So the market was still like slowly starting to do something.
Okay.
So there was still tons of opportunity on MLS. And then after that, I was doing bandit signs.
Okay.
I got a lot of calls from bandit signs.
Okay.
A lot from the city. They don't like us. But we got those. We would walk around neighborhoods and put flyers on mailboxes. Okay. Of just, we're looking to buy, let us make you a cash offer. Yeah. And we would do that like daily. Like if there was nothing else to do, like why not? And then driving for dollars or just going to look around, like what looks crappy, like what can we skip trace and find. So it really was a lot of sweat equity. And when we started, cold calling wasn't the big thing. So we never did that. We did do postcards, which ended up working really well at the time. And those are just kind of the methods that we did in the beginning to just start bringing deals in. Okay.
So driving for dollars, what is that? I don't know.
So you are driving the neighborhoods that you're interested in buying in, and you're looking for properties that have tarps on the roof, overgrown yards, boarded up windows, crap outside, just run down, and then you just take the address, write it down, and then you just keep going, and then at the end of the day, you go back to your computer, and you skip trace them. So you look up to see, say the address is 123 Main Street, and you look it up in the property appraiser, and it shows that John Doe, his real mailing address is somewhere in New York. Well, that means that he probably doesn't live here. He may be a landlord. There could be a lot of things. So then you take that mailing address and you can write him a letter.
Okay.
There's a lot of programs now where you can find the phone numbers. You just have to pay for it.
Okay.
So you can start skip tracing. You can look on Facebook, send people messages. It's a little bit more creepy, so you got to be really good at it. But you can do that. Just, hey, I found your information. If this is crazy, like, delete. I'm so sorry. But maybe you'd be interested in selling. I'm buying. Could be easy.
So then when you're doing things like that, with driving for dollars and now I guess with like cold calling and stuff, how do you come off to these people as like genuine and not like spam? Because I think that would be the biggest thing that I would be nervous about, is people thinking that it's like a scam. And that's what I think. If someone called me and was like, we want to buy houses for cash, I would not think that was a real thing. I mean, now I would, but like before knowing any of this, I would be like, this is not a real thing.
But I guess it depends. I look at it as, if you're calling random people just to call, it's gonna sound scammy, but if you can get them, and of course this is where the luck comes in, of if you can catch them at the right time, then you're like a savior to them. So that's where it's hard, is like if you're driving for dollars, like say you call a guy who that house 3 months ago was fully rented out, but it took him 3 months to evict somebody. You call him again and he's like, oh my God, I just finally got them out. Yes, please take my house. That was your perfect timing.
Right.
But it's not always going to work like that. You're going to find people who do the same thing, like, leave me alone. What are you doing?
Yeah.
But it's all about timing, and you never know when somebody's pain point has finally hit. So that's where follow-up and consistency is what works, because people who call once and was like, they told me now, like, of course they told you no. Like, they don't need you right now. Like,
and a lot of people, I think, is another thing that you've talked about a lot, is like, there are going to be a lot of no's. Like, there's going to be a lot of, like, rejection, and you can't get, like, emotional about it or have any feelings involved. It's just part of it.
Yeah, I mean, 50 phone calls, you'll get maybe one, like, okay, let's see what happens.
Right.
But that's a lot of no's, and that's in any business. I mean, you're literally hoping that somebody's going to say yes. They're not reaching out to you, you're reaching out to them. So you have to go with that mindset of, like, I'm hoping that they're going to say yes, instead of them coming to you like, hey, I have a problem. So that's where you have to turn your mindset to, like, okay, I get it. I need to just understand that I'm going to hear a lot of no's. I'm going to get somebody to cuss at me. They're going to tell me where to go and how to get there. And just literally, you got to just, thanks, have a great day. And just keep moving on the list, because you're going to get no's. You're going to be told no. And it's part of the business.
Right. So then, have you ever had an experience where you were maybe calling someone or emailing them or whatever, and they they got angry at you and were cussing at you or whatever, and then wrote a bad review for you and your company? Or how would you recommend someone dealing with that?
We have not come across of anybody writing bad reviews based on us communicating with them.
Okay.
But again, I respect people's privacy, and if they tell me no, like, okay. So, I mean, that's one of the things, like, if people so when we used to send out postcards, you would get people who would call you just to tell you, like, stop. Don't send me postcards. It's like, just throw it in the freaking trash.
Right.
But they would call you to tell you that. Yeah. And we would just say, what is the address? We'll take you off the list. And we would take them off the list, and that would be the way to do it. And so, I mean, for cold calling, if you end up calling somebody and they're upset, like, I'm on the do not call list, well, that's where you just, I'm so sorry, I didn't realize, we apologize, we're going to take your number off the list, disregard, like, enjoy your day, blah, 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 fix it. But that's where you just have to be able to just kind of do damage control, because usually you're taking a list of whatever your list is, vacant properties, distress, whatever, and you're sending out this stuff hoping that somebody's going to be receptive to it. And there will be a lot of people, but a lot of people are really confused of, why are you calling me? Why am I getting postcards? Because they don't understand. Yeah. And so we'll get the phone calls and why are you doing this? Why I don't understand. How did you get my information? Right. And then it's just as simple. We have a marketing team that puts it together. It's just in the zip code that we buy in. If you don't want to be part of it, we'll take you off. Disregard. So sorry. Move on. Right. And some people will be okay. Like, oh, I got it. And some people are just really angry. And that's when you just have to, okay, have a good day. Right. And move on, because it's just not worth it.
Right. Right. So then, with the driving for dollars thing, you said that you go in and find the mailing address for the owner? Is that through the MLS?
No, you can do that public record.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so you can just go through the property appraiser, whichever county you're in, just type in the address that you have, and then it'll show the mailing address. Now, sometimes it's the same mailing address, but nobody lives there.
Right.
So you have to do a little bit more background search, but that's where skip tracing comes in. If you can start they have certain websites that you can buy and go through and start trying to find the people.
Okay.
But again, that's hit or miss, because if you do find numbers, you're calling and shooting in the dark pretty much to hope that the numbers are still the same and that person hasn't left, and so.
Yeah. If you guys like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, comment if you have any questions, and subscribe to our channel. We will be back next week with more tips and tricks on investing in real estate. Bye.